Hey guys, well, here I am with my first podcast, Into the Cross, and I'm with Nathan. How you going, Nath?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming, bro. So for those that don't know, Nathan's Lawns and Gardens, if you don't know who he is, you're probably hiding under a rock somewhere. You should know what he's doing. But, mate, I just love what you do, I watch closely a lot of, I don't have a lot of time to watch everyone, but I watch your stuff because it's right in line with my heart, with the stuff that I do. How did you get into that stuff, Nath?
So obviously you and me, we've met before. We have a few things in common. My life was a bit of a mess many years ago. I crossed a few lines and basically it got to a point that I needed to get myself some help. And when I got that, it was, well, what am I going to do with my life? I was just bouncing over the walls. I was just from here to there, here to there. And one thing that I could do was mow a lawn. And I had seen, people had also done this on social media.
Yep.
And that obviously came after years of me doing this. And then I decided to start uploading a few videos. And then from there, it just grew.
Yeah, it grew very quickly, didn't it?
A lot quicker than I thought it would have.
Do you know one of the things I love, Nathan, is I think there's two ways that we can go in life when shit goes pear-shaped. We can either get up and rise and do something with it, or we can fold. You've chosen the second, the latter. It's just to get up and do something with it.
Mate, very true. And in that period of time where things were not good for me, folding probably was in a part of me. I wanted to give up. Life was very difficult, and I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to change or do the right thing or be normal. And obviously, there is a saying, one day at a time. I remember saying that, and I could never get my head around it. But after one day became 2 days, 3 days, weeks, years. Life changes.
Absolutely. So tell me about the evolution. So you start mowing lawns, obviously, and uploading videos, but you do far more than that now. I mean, I've seen you do some incredible stuff. How did that evolve?
Yeah, so it's really changed a lot to say my first video I ever uploaded. That's just me working at a customer's house, a time-lapse video, trimming an edge or mowing a lawn, something really simple.
Yep.
And then obviously over time, and the one thing about this is consistency. That's a real big thing that I've found. There's no days off, no breaks. It's literally you've got to be consistent every day on social media.
Yeah.
And as I was doing this, my following started growing. And then when your followers grow, that's when you're sort of introduced to people start contacting you from brands and all of that kind of thing,
Yep.
wanting, hey, that. And the thing about all that with me was I always sort of said to myself in the beginning that I want to be as authentic as I possibly can. I don't want to be one of these people that is just jumping week to week on a different brand, trying to cash in, all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yep.
I wanted to basically look, as I could see it was growing, I wanted to basically wait for the right person to come to me that was sort of in line with how I was thinking. It's not just about, here's something for you, go promote it and do your best. It's about we're sharing the same values. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, we're a family. We want to help people. And as I said, when my following grew, it sort of put me in a position, well, what do I do now? I can continue with my business, making money and videoing my content. I sort of always say that as double dipping.
Yep.
Or I could take a risk, which it was. It was a risk. It could go either way. Obviously, a sponsor would come on board, but I could go out there. I'd seen it done before and use my platforms to give back and help people for free, as in they're getting it for free. It's not costing them a cent. And I decided to go that way. And because of obviously my life and my story, a part of it for me was by giving back, it was like my daily medicine. It just keeps me doing the right thing, you know? And yeah, just as I said, here I am now, and it's gone from mowing lawns to now I just try to use the platforms to highlight things I see, and try to help people where I can, because the reality is, it's disappointing in a way, but the reality is that I've found through this is the larger the audience is, the larger noise will be made,
Yeah.
and I can use that to help a person that has been trying for months to get help or years, and they're not listened to. That's what I hear a lot. You know, they're not listened to, and I say it's sad because I shouldn't have to be able to use social media to get these things sorted out. But the sad reality is, enough noise is made. Things I've seen and I'm learning, they move pretty quick.
And they do. I mean, two words you used there was authenticity and accountability. I know since being on social media, we are accountable all the time. You know, we've got people who look up to what we do. Do you know, one of the things that I found interesting was when we went out that time, you come and did some street work with me for the stuff that I do. And in Teddy, you reached out to Teddy and you give him a few dollars and put him on your socials, and then you had someone reach out. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah. You know, I learn stuff every day. Even going out with you, I'm learning stuff. I'm watching what you do. I watch how you interact with people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this stuff, it's not about, you know, people say, oh, it's social media, you're doing it for likes and views and all that. You know, I think the main thing here is, from own experience, is being able to relate to someone and being able to communicate. And I think that's actually one of the harder things to do. Social media is easy.
Yeah.
Communicating with people that are vulnerable, that have got all these walls up,
Yeah.
it's very hard to get them to trust you, and so quickly, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, we met Teddy, and you know, you introduced me to him, and you know how you know, I say, like, sometimes things are meant to be.
Yeah.
Of all the people we saw that day, we went to him, and I uploaded a video, and the next minute his son has said, "That's my dad."
Yeah.
I haven't seen him for a long time, you know, and he was on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You know, and it was great. You got to go back and talk to him and all of that, and I think that stuff's positive, you know, because that's the kind of stuff that can be the icebreaker that might help that man and help that family, you know. And at the end of the day, at least his son has seen that his dad's somewhat okay.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about the internet, is that it can be used in a really positive way when used positively. I want to ask you a little bit, Nath, about some of the stories, because, I mean, I know, working on the streets with what I do, sometimes I can come away from that stuff pretty cut up, you know, like, oh, man, could I have done more? Should I have said this? You know, do you ever get that kind of stuff going on?
Yeah. So obviously just recently we went out and we met, I met 2 weeks ago a lady, a single mother, and not in the best condition where she was living.
Yeah.
And we were able to raise some money through social media. Again, that's not me. That's people jumping on.
$60,000, wasn't it?
$70,000. That's in 1 week. And as I said, that's got nothing to do with me. That's people all trusting my page and going, let's get behind this lady. And, you know, that was a different experience for me. I think it was horrible seeing this lady again, because there was a little child there. That's the stuff that gets me the most. I'm a father, I've got 3 kids. I just feel so sorry for those kids, you know. But in the big scheme of things, I've come across this kind of stuff a lot. So it's not a shock to my system as it may be to some watching. But I brought my partner out with me when we told her about the money on the last part, and you know, just so that there's a woman with a woman sort of thing, a bit more comfortable. And, you know, my partner came home, and she's fantastic, you know, and she came home, and, you know, she was crying.
Yeah.
She was like, how do you do this every day and then switch off? Yeah. And I just sort of said to her, it's like, once you've done this for a while, it's sad, but it becomes sort of a normal thing. And it's like nothing really surprises you anymore. And you've just got to come home and it is. Sometimes it's hard to switch off. You're thinking about it at night when you're laying in bed. Okay, what's going on, But you've just got to find a way to switch off somehow.
One of the things that I love about what you do and I do is that it's not just the people that we help, it's we're actually educating a country on situations that they're not even aware are happening in our country.
Mate, I'll give you an example. And as I said, I've seen a lot in what I do, and I've also seen a lot from where I've come from in my past.
Yeah.
But there was a video I did here last year, and it was one with all these cans in the room. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
That I'd seen things on social media, similar stuff to that, but actually walking in and seeing that kind of stuff, there's just so many questions like how, like how, and this is the sad reality that there's so many people out there that are living like that behind their closed doors that no one knows about.
Yeah, surprisingly, I've grown up around a lot of people like that. People that have a lot of trauma tend to accumulate or grab things. People who have grown up without stuff, they want to grab everything shiny, or they just get so bad in depression they just throw things where they literally are, which is what you came across. It was incredible work you did though, Nate. That was a big job.
Well, that's stuff that I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah.
That was a different kind of level for me. But again, when you're in those situations and people think, oh, he's just cleaning it, whatever, I'm cleaning it. There's a lot going through my mind when I'm cleaning it.
Absolutely. Well, if it was to talk about the worst, if you're okay talking about this, the worst situation you've come across, one that's absolutely hit you the hardest.
Yeah. And as I said, I've always got to be, careful and respectful
Anonymity.
when I talk about things like this. But I think one of the ones that I'll always remember is my first trip to New Zealand last year, where I took this for the first time out of Australia and said, let's see what happens. And I went there for 72 hours, 3 days, and all it was just to clean up as many yards as I could. Yeah, that's all it was. And this lady had texted me from over in Auckland and said, I'm really struggling. Told me a bit about her story. Can you help? And I was like, yeah, sure. And when I went over there, beautiful lady, a mother of five beautiful kids. Like, and when I say that, that when you finish and they're sending you video messages, nicest things, really brought up really well for young kids. They lost their father. He was in his early 40s of cancer, and that was really, really quick. She had a stroke, young, in her 40s, had a stroke. And just so much going on. And I just always remember it because it was just sad. And like, just how she, I don't like seeing it, but when they break down crying at the end and all that, like you don't want to see that stuff, but that's what happens sometimes. And I just feel so sorry for her.
Yeah. And it's hard knowing that we can't fix every situation. How did you find the people in New Zealand with you? Were they receptive to you?
It was funny because when I go to other countries, I'm going to the neighborhoods that you're told don't go to.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons there's a few reasons I go there, but one of the reasons I'll go there is because I'm gonna have a better chance of finding overgrown yards than in a rich, nice community, being honest.
Yeah.
And plus, as someone that's come from a different lifestyle, I can relate to a lot of these people of struggle and all that stuff. And one of the areas I went into, Auckland, put it this way, that the people were beautiful to me over there. They really were. One of them even did the haka for me. That was so good. I've never seen it in person, and it was unbelievable. And one of the areas that I went into, I was told, don't go down this street. And unfortunately, when someone says don't go down the street, I'm going to go down the street and have a look. I can't help it. That's old behaviours. But I went down there, and it was full on. You just know when you're driving down, you're like, oh, what have I done here? And I went down there, and there's dogs running across the street everywhere. There was a lot happening there. And I pulled up, and I was with my cousin. He comes everywhere with me, he films. I said, you know what? I'm just going to get out of the car. Whatever's meant to be is going to be. And there were 3 guys standing in their driveway, and they were big boys.
Yeah.
And I got out and straight away they're looking at me. I just went straight up. I said, "G'day, I'm Nathan." Just put my hand out. And I said, "Not sure where I am," but I said, "This is what I do," really quickly. And straight away one of them goes, "I know you. You're the TikTok guy."
Yeah, nice.
I said, "Yeah, probably that's me." Anyway, from there, he was cool. They were really cool.
Yeah.
But there was one there that it changed pretty quick. It went from cool to one of them was like, "Oh, that's your rental car. How about we go for a drive?" And I knew, okay, we got a problem here. It's kind of, so I just said, "Oh, no, all good. I got to get going." I said something and I left. But, it doesn't matter where you are. There's always going to be areas you go to where you can or can't have a problem. But overall, they were pretty cool to me.
You went to the States too, right?
Yeah.
And did you run into a few problems there, I heard?
Yeah, I had a few over there. I'm going back in October. This time's going to be a little bit more low-key than the last 2 visits I've been to. But last one, I went to Chicago, the south and west side. That's two of the most dangerous parts in America.
Yeah.
And the first trip I went last year to October, we drove through there and broad daylight. I didn't get out of the car. Even just to mow a little nature strip out the front, it'll take me 5 minutes. In your gut when it says, "Don't do it." And I knew I couldn't do it. And that's how bad it was. And everyone had warned me before I went in. I asked about 10 people before I crossed literally the line to enter. Like you can tell that here's all green and beautiful, and all of a sudden it's like a line just changes. And pretty much everyone I had spoken to had said to me, "You go in there, you're going to have a problem." Yeah. Everyone said, they've been held up, they've had a gun to their head, they've had all this stuff. I'm thinking, really? Like, it's true, but you're sort of like, really?
Yeah.
He's going to want to come up and do something to me. I'm not going to hurt anyone,
That's right.
I'm just mowing lawns. I got no problem with you, but the reality is in these places, especially from what I'd seen, mate, I could get myself into a lot of trouble in 2 seconds. And I had the police, from the Chicago police. A few of them followed me, and they knew I was there. And they said, "We love what you do." They said, "Probably not the best place, but we are here." But they said, "Well, we'll escort you in, and we'll sit on the side of the road," which they did. But the rules were, if they get called out to something, they have to go.
Yeah.
And they said, "I'd suggest you leave straight away," because one of the places that was literally crossing the main gang street in the heart of it. And yeah, mate, I don't get scared. I don't get scared ever, but I was scared in that place.
Yeah, I get it.
It was bad.
There's even places in here, a country where there's so many people in addiction, so many people homeless, and everyone's armed to the teeth. I mean, what could go wrong, Nathan?
Mate, and you in Australia, like, we have it so good over here.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
You go out, let's be honest. Where's a few places that you would say in Sydney that people would automatically go, "Oh, be careful"? Where would somewhere that would come to you?
Well, there's a few: Campbelltown, Mount Druitt, Cabramatta, Kings Cross.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would walk through those places.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. and wouldn't even blink an eyelid.
No.
You go over to some of those places over there, mate. I was struggling walking through there at midday.
Yeah. I get it.
Homeless, and that's what I mean. Homeless people. When you go to America, you really get a shock to the system when there's literally people lying everywhere on the street, like everywhere. Mental health, drugs. It was such a shock to my system.
An interesting word you just used, the mental health one. Like, I've noticed on the streets that I work on, there's this misnomer that everyone's an addict or an alcoholic, but the big thing I'm coming across is mental health. I'm wondering how much of that you come across.
Yeah. I do a lot of the work here around housing commission.
Yep.
And, in those kind of areas where I know people need a bit of a hand up or, and I don't see a lot that it's all alcohol and drugs and stuff. I see it as just people struggling, and it's like they just fall into this depression or something, and they're just on their own. I come across that a lot where they just isolate, and they're not drinking or drugging or stuff like that. I mean, there are some, but not all.
Yeah, loneliness is definitely one of the catalysts
Yeah.
out there for the mental health issues. It's just sad to see. All right, I'm going to let you do a bit of name dropping here. Who's some of the people you've met through doing this? You've come across a few people. I know you met that Glen Fisher. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a good one, good old Glee. No, but you're doing fantastic.
Appreciate you.
And you are. You know, it's good to see you giving back, and I believe this stuff makes you stronger and helps you,
Absolutely.
and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Mate, I've been privileged to come across, lots of people. At the moment, I'm a sport. I love my sport. I love the Tigers, so it was good. Terrell Matus recently came out with me out in his area where he's from, so that was good. I've had the Parramatta boys. That seems to be now a regular gig as long as Rilesy's still down there and they're playing well. They're coming back out with me this in November in the off season, which is great.
Yeah.
It's interesting, seeing the boys work in a different environment and showing them things that are a little bit maybe different to what they see on a daily basis. But yeah, I don't know. Like I've come across lots of different people doing this, and I don't know who I'm going to continue to come across, but it's been fantastic.
It's opening up eyes and doors, like all these different people you meet. Like I imagine that they ask a lot of questions to footballers when they come around with you.
Yeah, they're funny. They're a funny bunch of guys. I actually think I get more out of it because I think I'm still that little kid going,
Yeah, got
"Oh,
that.
yeah, so whatever." But at the end of the day, I hope that they understand that I'm just a normal bloke, and it's just having a bit of a laugh and a bit of fun, and just helping someone out at the same time if we can. And it's just I'm very privileged. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just built a house.
Yeah. I tried to build some stuff outside of the house, but I 40. What am I? 46. I forget how old I am now. I'm getting old. 45 years old, and got my first little house. For me, that's something that I'm extremely proud of because there is no way I would ever have thought that would happen to me through all the damage and destruction I did in my life. It obviously takes a long time to repair, and as I said, I'm very, very lucky. It's only a little, but you know what? It's my little, and my kids love it, and my partner, and I'm just so grateful.
Is there anything about you, Nathan, that you want to tell Australia that they don't already know? Some things about you. We know you're a West Tigers supporter. That's one thing.
Oh, you got me on the spot on that one. There's probably a lot that they don't know about me that I'm not ready to share just yet. One day I will when the time's right. About me, oh mate, I don't know. I honestly,
a hobby, something that you do that maybe people don't know.
Yeah. So I think growing up, I was a big skater, so I used to skate all the time, pretty full on. And from there, I used to I bought decks and used to try to DJ. I used to love all that kind of stuff. That was sort of my downtime. I'd spend every Thursday going into Central Station Records on Oxford Street, blowing all my money on vinyl and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to get back into it, but again, I got 3 kids, so
Street skater or vert skater?
It was more street. I used to go in the city all the time. Yeah, anywhere where there was rails and stairs and stuff like that. That was my life.
Yeah, no, I lived it. I loved it. You know, as you know, I had a skate shop. I love skating and indoors. At Bankstown had a really good skate park there as well. You ever been there?
No. I used to go a bit out. There was like the bowl and that out at Manly. There used to be one out there, and the ramp was just before Manly. But basically anywhere, that was what I did every weekend, all weekend.
Okay. So the last thing I want to ask you is the future. What do you see for your future? Plans have you got?
Mate, I have no idea where my social media things is going. At the moment, it's going in a great direction. I hope that it's just still going to be just Nathan being Nathan that everyone knows, that doesn't, that they, not that it sort of grows and then, you know, people think Nathan's going to be this different kind of person. I try to just always stay grounded and level-headed and keep saying that I'm exactly the same as the next person. No different. It's just a number. It's just a number. But I hope I can continue to just do what I love doing, which is what I do now, knocking on people's doors, interacting with people, watching my kids grow up, doing what they love. And, just hopefully continue to do the right thing, and people, appreciating and enjoying what I do.
It's interesting. I want to ask you what some experiences are with some of your followers. I mean, I've got about 100,000 followers all up. You've got 11 million. Like, it's a couple more than me. And I get approached a lot sometimes when I go out, and other times I don't at all. Some really interesting ones. I'm wondering what kind of approaches you've had, some funny encounters with followers.
See, all this stuff's all new to me because, remember from my life, I was unapproachable or no one would want to approach me.
Yeah.
And now it's totally different. So I've always said to people, if you see me out in the street, come and say good day.
Yeah.
Like, we're just normal,
Yeah, sure.
It's all good with me. But I did have one here that stood out. As I said, now it's a bit different. People are starting to come up a little bit more to me, and I'm adjusting to this now. It's okay. It's okay. And most people are very respectful, especially when they see my kids. They'll say, "G'day, I love what you do," but they don't want to keep me. My kids are there and all that. Yeah. But there was one that I will remember. It was out at Campbelltown. I went to one of the matches out there last year. The Tigers were playing. And my son had to go to the toilet, so I took him in there, and then there were people in there, and this guy came in and was washing my hands, and he's like, screamed out, "Whoa, it's that lawnmower man, Nathan." Everyone was looking. So my son sort of looks at me, and he's like, "Oh, I want to get a photo and all that." I'm like trying to wash my hands. I was like it was funny, but I was like, "Mate, how about we go outside to take the photo?" I don't really want it here, but my son sort of said to me after, "What was that about?" I don't know, mate. I go, "Look, just whatever, just say good day." And but.
Well, you're lucky you got a wife. She keeps you grounded, no doubt.
Oh, mate, my partner, and I say this all the time, I've one day my whole story will come out, but without this lady, Kelly, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I mean that. My life's changed a lot, but there's still parts of old Nathan in there, and there's still parts that I need to work on.
Yeah.
And mate, she grounds me, and she doesn't muck around. She'll give it to me straight.
Yeah.
And that's when I hear the word Nathan, because everyone mainly calls me Nath or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like Nathan, but when she'll say Nathan, I know I'm in trouble.
Yeah, right.
And that's when I listen. But she's fantastic. She's like that balance that I was looking for that I never had.
Yeah.
And just keeps me, just reminds me, hey, settle down.
Yeah. And it's easiest, I mean, our lower selves are always there, right? They haven't disappeared. They're still a part of us. It's just that we work towards our higher version of ourselves now, but it's accessible. I get it.
Mate, 100%. And I think one of the big things of my life from where I came from was, and the trauma in my life, whether it was self-inflicted or inflicted on me, one of the big things that it did to me was I became very angry. Just angry person. Yeah. Everything in life I was angry with. Yeah. And I think with anger, that's, for me, was one of the hardest emotions to deal with because it just consumed me.
Yeah.
The smallest things would just set me off. And I was saying to someone the other day, it's only really been the last 5 or 6 years that not only have I been able to manage it, appropriately, but it doesn't consume me like it used to. And it's like literally 10 big bags of just come off my shoulders, you know. Doesn't mean I don't get annoyed or anything like that. Trust me, I still do. I got 3 kids. I love them to bits, but they can do my head in sometimes. But my life's different, you know. It took a long time. It takes such a, you know, that
It does.
it doesn't happen when you're young and you want it all to happen. It's really, the older you get, the more you learn.
Yeah, I can relate to the anger part, and I was consumed by anger too. And it's like, it's actually the only emotion that I actually understood, that every single thing would dwell to anger. One of the best things that I learned about anger was that anger is actually a secondary emotion, that it's actually a first emotion that triggers an anger, whether it be rejection, hurt, whatever that is. So for me, being able to learn to identify what that emotion was a game changer for me. So when I felt something, I used to sit down and write it down and think, why am I so angry? And then I'd sort of write it down. I think, oh, I actually felt a bit of rejection there, you know, or I felt a bit hurt, or, you know, and so you start to pare it back a bit. And I think that all we do, Nathan, is we just get better tools in our backpack to better manage what we know, our learnt behaviours from our childhoods and traumas.
100%. And that's, you know, that was one of the things with me. I learnt different ways to deal with this stuff, and it was always not appropriate ways. And, you know, the walls would just go up because that was my way of protecting myself, but I just couldn't express myself the right way.
Yeah. I just want to finish off by saying, look, I honestly love what you do, Nathan. I have a heart for people. You have a heart for people, you know. Like, I think that the authenticity in what you do, in what I do, builds a solid foundation for the future, for both of our lives and hopefully for others. I appreciate you coming on, my brother. I really do. The only last thing I want to say, you got 11 million followers. You can't chuck me a few of those. What?
Mate, I think they should all jump over onto you. You do fantastic work.
I agree.
No, you do. You do it, mate. You're doing good work.
No, I love it, Nathan. And thank you for I feel honoured for you to come onto my first pod to give me a bit of a kick in the butt, help me go. And,
absolutely. The privilege is mine, mate.
So easy. Cheers, bro.
Thank you.